It's a big question mark. We don't know. All right. How is everybody feeling today? It's Saturday. I'm reading for you today with the Dragon Tarot. Meow. Good morning and God bless you, says Mary Jane tenderly. Thank you, my darling. Hello, Ondine. How you doing? Ondine's already there with the quick cat in the chat. The quick chat cat, which, if you're speaking French, is the quick cat. Whoa. All right, it's Saturday morning. I am so happy to see all of you guys. Let me adjust this a little bit. I'm going to share this broadcast in one or two places, as I always do. I see Ondine and MJT have already shared cats in the chat. Hey, Judith, how you doing? Good to see you. I missed you last week. Good morning. Just thinking to myself, where is that witch? Well, where she was trying to prevent a sneeze. That's where now, you know. All right, I'm going to share this this broadcast, this lovely cast of mine in one or two places. While I do, I will update you on some news. If you listen to Sassafras Cast, my podcast, I have a new episode out. I recorded it on Tuesday night, and the topic is honoring your difficult emotions as holy messengers. And you know, I'm not a religious sort. So when I say holy, I just mean of great personal and spiritual import, but I don't necessarily associate that with a deity or anything, unless you want to, which is cool. That's valid. So that's the topic of my new podcast. And if you would like to get it, you can find it anywhere you listen to podcasts. If you search for Sassafras Cast, all one word, Sassafrascast. Also, if you're on Instagram, you can check out the link in my pinned bio. If you're on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, I do have links on there too. You can find me. So let me share this lovely broadcast in a couple of places. And while I am doing so, please let me know how you're doing. Let me know how your week has been. I desire to know. Don't give me a false answer when I say, how are you? I want the real story. We honor each other's feelings here. We don't just politely say, I'm good. I mean, you can, if you're good, you can tell me you're good. But give me the real story. I want to know how you're really doing. I care. I'm here to listen and to read tarot cards. So if you're just tuning in for the first time, let me let you know the way the Witchy Weather Report works is each week I pull a card and let you know what the energy is going to be for everyone for that coming week. And after that, I am open until the clock strikes 12 for one card pulls offered freely. Always, you're welcome to tip me. I do have a virtual tip jar in the comments, which actually I'll go ahead and post right now on Instagram. I think I forgot to. Hi, Instagram. Always appreciated, but absolutely never expected. So that's what I do. I will give you a little witchy weather report. I will pull cards for individuals up until the clock strikes 12. So for as long as I'm available, which is until 12 today. And if you would like a card pulled, the way to do that, we have a secret code at the Witchy Weather Report, is to drop a cat emoji in the chat. If you don't if it's hard for you to get the cat emoji going, then if you just type meow or write something about a cat, that's good too. It's all good. Yeah, that's what I have to tell you. What else I have to tell you is that it's been a busy week. I got my second COVID shot this week. And my Thursday, I got it on Wednesday. My Thursday was a little iffy, but I'm 100% back now. My husband is recovering from his second COVID shot. He's not feeling so hot because he got his on Friday. So he's still in recovery mode. But I'm very, very excited to be very close to maximum immunity. I've been saying maximum immunity instead of full immunity because full immunity implies that you're completely immune. And I know there's only depending on what shot you got, like a 90% immunity or something like that. You can still get it. You're supposed to be protected from at least death and hospitalization. which is great. I don't want either of those eventualities. Do you? I don't. So I'm very excited. 2 weeks from Wednesday is my full immunity day or maximum immunity day. How about you guys? Have you guys gotten the shot yet? Gotten all shot up for the good of us all? Let me know. Or don't let me know. It's personal information. It's okay. But it's definitely been a topic of discussion, I think, for many of us. The world is starting to open up again. I'm starting to do more and more tarot parties, as well as, more and more gigs. I'm a musician. And people are ready, man. People are definitely like reaching out, ready to book those types of events. So I'm very, very happy to be building my immunity and to be moving less fearfully into this summer than we did into last summer, for sure. So that's all I got to say. All right. Let me take a look here in the comments because I know I have some comments. Hello, Gail. How are you? Good to see you. Hello, Patty Bell. Oh, Judah says, I feel like crap, but I found a great new ASMR video, which helps. Well, I'm glad you found a great new ASMR video. I could do a little witchy weather report ASMR, a little shuffling on my... Is that good or is that horrible? I don't know. I know Instagram, you're not getting the ASMR effect. I'm sorry. Or you're welcome. I don't know. Patty Bell says, depleted but on the path to restoration. Big feels. Patty Bell, right there with you. Melissa Marie Imagery has dropped some very sassy cats into the chat. The Twitch cat emojis are the best, I have to say. They look like the cat emojis on Twitch always look like they're about to drop a hot new album, and I'm very excited about it. Good, beautiful morning. Oh, and you just got offered a steady strolling gig that you can't do because you're broken. I'm sorry. That sucks. But maybe it's good for you to have the time to heal. Ooh, and you're getting your second shot on Wednesday. Congratulations. You have card shuffling envy. I'm pretty good at, I only know how to do like the Vegas style shuffle, the poker style shuffle. I don't know how to do that. Like people shuffle like this, and I feel like it's just either it's not very effective as a method or I'm not very effective at it as a method. I don't know. I only know how to do that kind of poker style, like that kind of vibe shuffle. But it works. And I am the only shuffler in my household. My husband is also a bad shuffler. And so I'm the one who does the shuffling when we play card games. Oh, thank you. Judith says, your shuffling rocks. Thanks, I try. All right, everybody. I'm going to pull us a card for what is our energy for the week. After that, I will start pulling cards for you. I see a bunch of people have dropped cats in the chat already. Hello to my friends tuned in on Instagram. I see some people tuned in. Scrolling up to see the comments over there. Andine says, bouncing back. That's what I love to hear. Yes. Do that bouncing. I see more people tuned in than have said hello on Instagram. If you're on Insta or wherever you're tuned in, say hi. Let me know. Hello. My mom is in the chat and she says, hello, child. Today's word is fold, as in fold your COVID vaccine card. Yeah, I have. Has anyone else noticed that the COVID vaccine card is just too big to fit in your wallet? I considered folding it, but I am nervous about folding such an important document. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know. Am I going to need this thing? Is this going to become a card of great import that I regret having a crease down the middle? I know some people have laminated. I know some people have done a shrink down and laminate. And I'm like, but then that's not the original document. I don't know. I have feelings about it. However, a couple of people have turned me onto the Excelsior Pass app for the phone here in New York State. Anyway, I don't know if you're like people are tuning in from wherever. Here in New York State, we have an app called Excelsior Pass where we can save and call up our COVID immunity proof or whatever. So that's exciting. Hey, Emily, how you doing? Hello, AJ. Good to see you. Snap it on your phone. Yes, I do think that is a good move to have a picture of it easily accessible on the phone. Very useful. All right. getting ready to pull a card for everyone. This will be our card for the energy of the week. While I'm doing so, let me know how last week went for you. I know that I'm trying to think about our energy for last week. I do recall there being a little bit of us trying to move away from fighty energy. We also had a new moon in Taurus last week. So how was that for you? How was the new moon? New moon was Tuesday. Taurus is another earth sign, a very stubbornly earth sign. Taurus, a hard worker, and also someone who knows how to relax and play and does so thoroughly. What was your new moon in Taurus like? Did any of those qualities come up for you as something to think about? Let me know. Oh, Emily says, feeling happy for the first time in like a month. Well, I'm so glad you're feeling happy. And Judith says, laminaste. The lamination in me acknowledges the lamination in you. Oh, it's Amy. Sorry, Amy. I just see your initials and I'm like, AJ. Hey, Amy. All right. This is my final shuffle before I pull a card for the week. The Hermit. What a beautiful card for the week for us. Do I just feel this way because I'm a Virgo and this is my card? And in so many other ways, this is my card. I was listening to a podcast the other day. It's a great podcast. It's called 13, and it's a spooky stories podcast. They come out on the 13th of every month. It's really great. It's a new, fresh story, like done with a full cast audio, with really nice, like audio engineering behind it to kind of enhance the tale. And there's some queer representation in there too, which is really nice. It's a great podcast. I recommend it, 13. And they read a story by an author yesterday, and in her bio, it said that she was an aspiring hermit. And I was like, that's the best phrase ever. I too am an aspiring hermit. That's lovely. Anyway, our card for the week is the Hermit. So, what lessons do you have to teach yourself this week? We are crowned this week by time to ourselves, by time spent soaking up and seeking out our own wisdom. The Hermit, you will notice, carries a lamp. I'm reading from the Dragon Tarot today, so the Hermit is a delightful dragon friend. The Hermit carries a lamp, and the Hermit is in solitude on a little cliffy over here. You can see in the distance of this card, I know it's kind of small, there is like a village off in the distance on this card, far off from the Hermit. The Hermit has gone off to spend time with themselves in order to better understand themselves, their journey, their path, as well as probably other people, right? When we spend time with ourselves, it can help us sort out our relationships as well. It can help us sort out our goals and our ideas. So the Hermit invites you to spend time, perhaps in study. There are definitely some scholarly triggers here. Often the Hermit has a book, but obviously this is a dragon. You know, what's a dragon going to do with a book? But there's definitely some scholarship triggers here. Some cues. You can see that my symbol, Virgo, is on this card. On the bottom, we also have a Star of David on this card. There's such a scholarly tradition in the Jewish tradition, and the Hermit is absolutely acknowledging that. It's a time for thought and study, and studying that is self-directed. So when I say study, a lot of people associate that with academia, which is a very valid form of education, but never discount self-study, never discount delving into something you really want to learn to it on your own, driven by what excites you. It's a super valid way to learn, and it might lead you down the path of exactly what you need to understand right now. I also just want to say there's this little symbol at the bottom here that I kind of read like, what are those tools we used to use to like, I don't think people use these in school anymore to draw a circle. Like architects use these tools. You put a pencil in it and it draws a perfect circle, like at a certain angle or whatever. We would use them in geometry. I think there's precision here. where you go by yourself so that you can get away from the stresses and view your life and do your tasks with precision and care that perhaps you can't do when you're in the shuffle and in the flow of things. That's what that represents to me today. Compass. Thank you. Thank you for helping my brain out, Judith Wyman. It's a compass. This is a compass, this little doodad over here in the lower corner. Good to see you, Mom. Thank you for tuning in. Compass. Yes, a couple of people are saying it's a compass. That's what it is. Undine says, not sure how I feel about that card for this week. Well, I hope it turns out to be a loving and gentle card for you rather than a negative one. I kind of love the Hermit. I understand there are sorts of situations where you don't want to be in something on your own, but I love the Hermit. I am a hermit. I'm an aspiring hermit, apparently. Big Virgo energy. Judith says, compass, do I win the luggage? Well, you're in a tarot place right now, so we're certainly going to be talking about baggage, which is similar. Baggage always comes out during tarot readings. I was talking to a friend about that this week, about how as a tarot reader, you go to different decks for different things, and we all have a deck that calls us out. That's like, here's what you need to know. Here's all your triggers. Here's all your trauma. Here's all the way you're self-sabotaging. Listen up. That's like a little harsh with us, right? And we all have a deck that kind of takes us by the hand and is like, let's sit down and talk, honey. And they'll both give us a good reading, right? But it just depends on which style of truth telling you desire that day. All right, so I definitely have some cards to pull for people. If you have just tuned in, the way the Witchy Weather Report works is after I give my one card reading for the week for everybody, which is the Hermit this week, I then pull cards for anyone who would like a card up until 12. When the clock strikes 12, then the Witchy Weather Report is over. So I get to everyone I can in the time allotted. These readings are freely offered. There's no expectation of tipping. I do have a virtual tip jar. You're welcome to throw some money in there. Also, I went ahead and put the shop link in the comments as well today. And my shop link is etsy.com/sassafras tarot. No, I'm sorry, etsy.com/shop/sassafras tarot. If you put in Witchy Weather Report, all one word, you will get 10% off. So if you ever want to get a bigger, fuller reading from me, you can. And a couple people have been ordering readings lately. It's been really fun reading for you guys. And you can get 10% off. So make sure you put that code in. I want you to get your discount. Okay. We have on Twitch, we have somebody spamming us. So I'm just going to disable that person. So if you'd like me to pull a card for you, some of you have already done so. The secret code is to drop a cat emoji in the chat. That spammer's still there on Twitch. Okay, it looks like they quieted down. If they come back, I will quiet them down because I just realized I'm not logged in on Twitch. All right. Can I do it from here? Maybe. Maybe not. All right. If anyone sees any more spam comments, let me know. I want to clean them out. Let me get back to myself. If you would like a card pulled, drop a cat emoji in the chat or drop something about cats in the chat. You know, share an adorable story about your cat or just share the word meow. All right, let's see. Who am I reading for first? I think Ondine was the first cat sender today. I see Emily too. Emily has moved from Instagram to Facebook. Very sneaky. All right, so we got Ondine, Mary Jane, Emily, and then we have a couple more people on deck, and I will get to all of you. Don't worry. But first three are going to be Ondine, Mary Jane, and Emily. Shuffling cards for you. By the way, if you enjoy the Witchy Weather Report, I encourage you to share this around. I do this every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Hey, Ayla, how are you doing? Ayla Faye is tuned in, fabulous witchy musician that I tune in for often. She has live streams on Thursdays and Saturdays. Ayla, drop a couple of links about where people can follow you. Ayla's just great. All right, Andi, the first card is for you this morning. Oh, Amy says, I dreamt about a cat last night. Must be a sign. I also dreamt about cats last night. Multiple. But I've been dreaming about cats a lot lately, so that's just where my head is at this year. Cat dreams. There are worse things. Hey, Grayson, how you doing? Thank you for tuning in. Grayson's an awesome human who is in my Discord server, and they have two amazing tarot bots for a Discord that they made. One for the Smithwaite tarot deck and one for the Thoth tarot deck, the kind of Crowley-licious Thoth deck. And we have both in my server, and they're just such great bots. I love them. So talk to Grayson if you would like one of those tarot bots in your own Discord. They're great. All right, Andi, this card is for you. 9 of Wands. Let's talk about it because this, in this particular deck, which is the Dragon Tarot, this is my first deck that I got serious about tarot with when I was a teenager. And I've come back to it today because it feels like coming home. Andi, your card is the 9 of Wands, and this is a pretty positive card in this deck. As you can see, this dragon is ascending stairs, surrounded by wands, with the sun coming up on the horizon, or is that the sun reflecting off a full moon, indicating perhaps fruition, culmination, right? So the 9 of Wands indicates that you are almost there. You can see that these stairs might be tiring. There's a bunch of stairs beyond that dragon, but the dragon's got the energy. The dragon's like, yeah, I'm doing the thing. I'm going up the stairs. I always view this as like climbing the stairs to success. Like the Rainbow Road in Mario Kart, these stairs do not have railings, so do proceed with caution and self-care. Make sure you're going at a pace that is manageable for you, but know that you're almost where you're going. You may feel beaten up at this point. You may feel that you've had to push through a lot, and you may feel urgent to just like get things done and cross the finish line. Continue to go at a pace that allows you some self-care and some sanity, because you will get there. Don't be discouraged now. You're right around the corner from where you need to be. All right. Pulling a card at this time for Mary Jane, then Emily's on deck. Then I will be scrolling through for more cats. I know a few of you have dropped cats. If you are new to the Witchy Weather Report, that is our secret code. If you would like a card pulled for you, you can just drop a cat emoji in the comments. If you can't get to the emojis, just say something about a cat or say meow. All cat content is appreciated. Mary Jane, my dear, I'm pulling this card for you. You were also a little iffy on the Hermit. You're like, oh man, more solitude. I saw that in your comment earlier. I love the Hermit. I don't know. Maybe I just hate everyone, but I like you guys. I love the Hermit. But I understand maybe that's not where everyone wants to be at every moment. So here is your card, Mary Jane. Your card is the Queen of Cups. Oh, beautiful. I love it. I love it. The Queen of Cups is about you, my darling, taking charge of your emotional story. What does that mean to you? I'm going to just throw it right to you. The Queen of Cups has so much abundant emotionality and also creativity. The Queen of Cups is like deeply creative, deeply nurturing, very loving. The Queen of Cups knows that everything she desires is in her hands if she desires it. And usually not through practical traditional means. The Queen of Cups is deeply, deeply intuitive. You see all of these waterfalls, which really do indicate abundance and possibility and dreams, a very dreamy character, the Queen of Cups. Your goal this week as the Hermit, because this card of the week, the Hermit, still applies to you. And the reason you're getting this enforced solitude is to get in touch with your inner Queen of Cups, to honor your creativity, honor your intuition, honor your dreams. and really to sink into that space in a way that feels safe. Sometimes when we're in the kind of external world and we're playing the game of life or capitalism or whatever, it can be challenging to give space and time for those inner thoughts, for our emotions, for our dreams. And so right now you're being given this respite of solitude so that you can shore up those foundations, so that you can honor your dreams, honor who you are as a creative human, as an emotional human, as someone with many big possibilities. And especially a big message I want to share with you this week is that you can get the things that matter to you, that you're dreaming of, and to be open to the idea that it doesn't have to be by following someone else's playbook. The Queen of Cups is a big manifester. The Queen of Cups also a little bit makes her own rules. She looks at the situation and figures out, okay, well, this is what I want, so I'm going to figure out how to do it. And because she has that attitude, things just seem to flow into her life. There's a lot of flow with the Queen of Cups. So consider that the path to what you really desire could be an easy, groovy, flowing path. There you have it. All right. I see a couple of questions in the chat. Emily, you are on deck. Anderson, thank you for tuning in. Anderson says, in our forum community, there is a mod. Can you read if he is a Fed? I don't tend to go for very specific yes, no questions like that with the tarot, especially ones that it seems like this could be impactful for you. So I'm not going to say I'm not going to give you a big yes, no answer. I might give you a card that's more about context on that situation, if that's all right with you. It's for the same reason, by the way, I don't do readings on medical conditions, because if you have a medical concern, you should absolutely see a doctor. You know what I mean? So when I do a reading, if that's what's on the top of someone's mind and what they want to talk about, then I give them context. I give them things to think about and things to consider when interacting with that situation. So that's the type of reading I will do for you, Anderson, when I get to you. And you are in queue now. We have a few people in front of you. We've got a lot of people asking for readings today, but I should get to you. I have half an hour before I have to, before the witching hour, before this podcast is over. Podcast, live stream. Okay, Emily, pulling a card for you at this time. After that, I am going to go down the list and see who is next. If you just got to the Witchy Weather Report, welcome. Our card of the week for everyone is the Hermit. It's a good time for us to take stock and pursue our own learning, pursue our own wisdom, pursue our own path, whatever that means, of self-development and knowledge building. That is what crowns us all this week. Emily, here's a card for you. Ace of Swords, my darling. Let's talk about the big, beautiful, glorious truth, because that's where you're at right now. You've reached another turning point, and I say another because I've read for you, and I know there have been several recently. You've reached another turning point in which the truth is what sets you free. Your own judgment has set you free in the past, and what sets you free now is your own judgment is a piece of that, because the truth should inform it. Is just beautiful, glorious truth, awareness, seeing and naming things just as they are right now is very, very powerful. We feel a lot of pressure to name things or describe things as differently than they are, maybe to match our confirmation bias internally, maybe honestly, right, just for denial purposes, to make our lives a little easier day to day, and maybe because we have external forces, right, trying to keep the status quo. I certainly see this in corporate culture a lot, where people are encouraged, if they're in a rough working situation, to act like it's normal, those kind of things. You are encouraged to honor the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You are encouraged this week to just name things as they are, and just speaking the truth is very powerful, especially if you feel stuck. The way to get unstuck is just by speaking the truth until you're blue in the face, and that will change things. That shift is enough to create the change that you need this week. There you have it, my friends. I'm going to see who else. Is asking for a reading. If you have just joined the Witchy Weather Report, the way to ask for a card to be pulled, I pull cards as many as I can up until 12, which is my cutoff. That's when I have to go today. And the code is to drop a cat emoji in the chat. Or if you can't get to the emoji keyboard for some reason, so just say meow. Meow is good too. All right. I see some comments that I can't quite see in the chat, so I want to make sure. I want to make sure I see all those comments in case someone dropped a cat that I didn't get to. That awkward moment when there are unseen cats in the room, right? Because every now and then I'm broadcasting from StreamYard. It aggregates all the comments for me, which is really nice. Every now and then it like won't show me something completely. Oh, good. Okay, Gail did share a cat. All right. So what I have on deck for you is Patty Bell. Then I have Gail, and then I have Melissa Marie. And I think Judith is in there somewhere too. I think Judith also desired a card. She usually does, so I'll stick her in there no matter what. All right. Patty Bell pulling a card for you, then Gail, then Melissa, then Judith. And don't worry, everyone else, I'm going to try and speed through these so I get to everyone before 12. I usually just kind of read everyone and get to the end when I get to the end. And I've realized recently that keeping this to an hour is what's going to make it work as my schedule gets busier. So that's my pledge to you. I offer these readings freely up until 12. And if if I don't get to you, you can always come back next week. You can also always order a reading from me if you really, really want to. Etsy.com/shop/Sassafras Tarot. It's going across the bottom there. It's also in the comments. And you can use this Witchy Weather Report for 10% off. As a viewer, I give you a discount. So put in code Witchy Weather Report anytime you want to order a reading from me and get 10% off. Patty Bell, this card is for you. Here's your card. It is the 8 of Coins. Now, the 8 of Coins really does indicate creating structures and foundations for your future in your life, especially around resource. It means bettering yourself. It can mean studying. It can mean just building up what you need to create in your life, around your home, around your work, around your money, around your finances. However, you will notice that although we have this dragon in this kind of clearing and we have these strong pillars of pentacles, of coins on either side, indicating that you are creating strength, there are some scorpions here. The 8 of Coins is really like in this particular deck, because not every deck interprets it this way. There are little annoying forces that would keep you from building your fort, so to speak. There are things that are distractions. They're not going to really they're not going to ruin your life. Like in Scorpion versus Dragon, where a dragon is 100 times bigger, I think the dragon wins. But scorpions can be, I believe they're not poisonous. I believe they're venomous, but I could be wrong. I think they're venomous. Scorpions are venomous. And so that can poison your mentality if you allow it to, if you allow these small distractions, if you allow people or situations that are negging you to get into your head, that can poison the good work that you're doing. So you are encouraged to stay the course. The tarot reminds you to stay the course and to continue the work that you're doing, and that it is important, and that you are building, and that you are making day-to-day progress with each small step that you take. So do not allow the distractions to stop you from the work you know you need to do. And especially as we see the Hermit is this week's card, anytime you can get time to yourself this week, it's precious, it's valid, because that is how you will recover from those distractions. Who's next? Gail is next. Gail, I hope you're still tuned in. I'm going to pull a card for you. Don't worry, Anderson. I knew you wanted a reading. It's okay. The reason we use that secret code, by the way, of dropping a cat is because sometimes we get spammers in the chat. And when we use words like, can you pull a card for me or something, I found that spammers were kind of searching for those terms and coming into our chat and spamming people. So that's why I've devised the thing of like dropping a cat in the chat if you want a card. But yeah, you're good. Don't worry. All right. And the other reason your question, it feels a little sensitive for a tarot reading, Anderson, is because it's about someone else. And I never want to do a reading that confirms or denies like something someone is doing that's, negative or positive or whatever. That's that becomes almost like legal business, or getting inside someone else's head is not something I like to use the tarot for, put it that way. So like I said, I will pull a card around the topic for you. I'm not going to pull a yes, no, is this person a Fed card for you, because that's not something that a tarot reader should answer for you. You should absolutely go with, like, in situations like that where it seems like it's a little high stakes, you should do your best to, get whatever information you can through like traditional means, through resource and stuff like that, and be very sure of your facts. So I never want to be the reason someone does not pursue factual research. That's kind of my attitude as a tarot reader. I still think that tarot is really valuable and powerful for a great many things. That's just my personal 2 cents, how I work with the tarot. Anyway, Gail, I'm pulling a card for you at this time. Gail, your card is the Hierophant. Let's talk about the Hierophant. I know you are putting together your Folky Fest series for the first time outside or inside. I'm not sure, because I know it's going to be in July. Maybe more people will be vaxxed. I know you're working on that. And the reason I bring it up is because the Hierophant really is about the status quo. Things like village and town codes can play into this. Things like powers that be are what's called to mind by the Hierophant. Now, our card for the week is the Hermit. The Hermit and the Hierophant interact in a very interesting way, because the Hierophant is like wisdom from above. That's the energy. Like the local preacher, for example, would be like the Hierophant, right? The person everyone listens to and takes quite seriously, or law, or the sheriff, or whatever, right? Would be the Hierophant. And the Hermit is really all about, like, I find my own wisdom. I find wisdom for myself, and I'm on my own journey, and that's how I get it. So I wouldn't say they exactly butt heads, but they're not going to play well together if forced to. And the reason I bring this up to you is to just be aware there are external forces in your life that are not about you, but can affect you in this coming week. So how will you interact with them? How will you, in all your wisdom, especially as the Hermit is our card, and your internal wisdom, which is very deeply important this week, how will you respond to external factors that seem to be, attempting to lead you along the path they would like to lead you on? That there's big status quo feels with the Hierophant. And you can't control every external situation in your life, but you can control how you respond to those things and how you internalize them. Hydration break. Cheers, everybody. Hydration checkpoint. Drink some water. All right. So Gail is saying no kidding. So I'm guessing that resonates for you. So I wish you luck with that. Turn to the wisdom of the Hermit, because it may seem very black and white. And certainly there may be people who would prefer for you to view it as very black and white, but it probably isn't. There's probably more than one way to move through this in a way that works for you. All right, next up, I have Melissa and then Judith, and then I'm going to scan for more cats. I know a few more people have dropped cats. Don't worry, I'm getting to you. Melissa, how you doing this week? Gail says, I'm a fan of Shades of Grey. I agree. Melissa, we have the 7 of Wands. Let's talk about your own personal power, because this is very relevant. Often, this is a card about discovering our personal power born out of frustration. You will notice this card looks a little different than a traditional 7 of Wands from perhaps the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, and I read it differently. That is my personal view as a tarot reader. Some people think the readings are fixed no matter what deck you're reading from, and the pictures are just pretty pictures. I think that both things come into play. I think you have to have, this is my personal philosophy that you can agree with or disagree with as you please. I think it's very important to have a strong base of what the tarot means and what each suit is about and all of that, and to have a good understanding of the tarot. And I also think it's important to use our intuition and to follow our noses when we're called, when our intuition calls us to attention of something in the card that's not in the traditional meaning. So in the 7 of Wands here, I really always view this particular card in this particular deck about embracing your personal power and testing your power. You can see that this dragon has like lightning crackling out of their hands. This dragon is surrounded by wands, which indicates several things. It indicates power, it indicates creativity, it indicates ambition, and it indicates pressure. Kind of all of those things at once. So it could be a bit of a pressure cooker situation, which could be why you are finding this aspect of your power. Sometimes that's how we learn how good we are, right? I forget the quote, but it's something about women are like tea bags. You never know how good they are until you put her in hot water type of thing. And that's a little gendered, but so that may be the situation with you where you are discovering new skills and gifts of yours because of this kind of charged situation that you're in. And you may be also considering, how do I want to use those skills and gifts? How do I want to use this power that perhaps I've just discovered that I even have power, right? Because many of us walk through life feeling somewhat powerless. And then you have, okay, well, with power comes responsibility and your choices of how can I use this power, not just to my best advantage, but ethically. And also that those things are not always mutually exclusive, right? Like using your power to your advantage is not necessarily unethical. Using your power to stand up for yourself is not necessarily unethical, especially if your situation represents one that others have experienced too. So I'm just putting all those thoughts out there. What does your power look like? How is your own perception of your power evolving this week? Turn to your own wisdom. The wisdom of the hermit really encourages us to do that. Rolly, hello, welcome back. I think you were here last week as well. Rolly says, please read for me. I will get you in the queue. I'm getting to everyone I can before noon. So if I don't get to everyone today, all I can say is come back earlier next time, but I'll do my best. Just so you know, when we ask for a reading in this chat, what I usually ask people to do is drop a cat emoji or say the word cat or the word meow in the chat. And I do that because we get spammers sometimes when people ask directly for a reading. So it's a secret code developed out of necessity. I'm not just being cute, but cats are cute. Okay. Judith, I'm pulling a card for you. Then I'm going to see who's on deck and do as many as I can before noon. Judith, here is your card. Judith, your card is the 5 of Swords. In particular, with this card in this deck, you may feel ganged up on. You may feel that you are trying to protect your core, protect yourself, protect things that are sacred to you or important to you. You see how this dragon is wrapped around this sword, and that others in your life, or even people you don't necessarily mess with all that much, are just coming up in your business. And there's this real sense of defensiveness and protectiveness. So the questions I'm going to ask you, especially for the hermit, is from the hermit's wisdom, which is our wisdom for this week. Are there ways, is it true that this is a fight you have to sign up for? Is it true that you have to show up for this? Or are there ways you can actually just simply opt out of this experience and conserve your energy and take care of yourself? Because that might be neat. Or are there reasons perhaps that it's worth showing up for this, even though it may seem like a kind of petty battle? Are there reasons for your own sense of self-worth that it's important to do so? Those are your questions to answer. They are not my questions. I'm just asking them without any particular, I don't mean to put any emphasis on either side of it. And the hermit also encourages us to act as our best selves, to act as our wisest self. So wherever possible, take pauses as you are dealing with situations that are perhaps designed to make you feel a little off balance. Take pauses so that you can regain your balance before reacting to the situation, so that you can respond rather than react. All right. I know we have some other people. I'm going to scroll through right now and see who else is on deck and see if I can get to all of you before 12. I'm just scrolling through the comments here and I see Amy and Grayson are going to be next on deck. Ooh, trying to place my phone over here. Okay. Amy and Grayson are next on deck. Let's see who else is on deck. All right, we got to Melissa. So in this order, Amy, Grayson, Ayla, Anderson, and Rolly. That's who I've got left. Okay, I think I can get to all of you. That's 4 people in 12 minutes. I think I can do it, but I think probably that's going to be it. Okay, Amy, I am shuffling right now to pull a card for you. If you just joined the Witchy Weather Report, thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoy tuning in for us, please give this a share, and please continue coming back next week. We do this every Saturday. We meet at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And by the way, Ayla, it must be like the crack of dawn where you are. What is it? It's 8 in the morning is 11 a.m. Pacific. I know now it's almost noon, so I guess it's almost 9 for you. Getting up at 9, before 9 on a Saturday, bold move. Not one, like I'm a musician, and I know you are too. I'm like definitely not a morning person. All right, Amy, I'm pulling this card for you. Oh, you're welcome, Judith. Here's your card. Amy, your card is the Chariot. 2 major arcana cards for you this week because the Hermit was our main card. Amy, what is it in your life that you are feeling like you want to pursue? Because now is the time to pursue it. And maybe pursue is the wrong word because your own path is the one to be carved. That may even be what's tripping you up. You may feel like, I don't have a path. I don't have the instruction booklet, right? To move forward. I know what I want, but I don't know how to get from point A to point B. Right. And if it's such a big thing, it's like, I need the steps in between, I can't just jump up the ladder. Well, you're being encouraged to just go all in and push and quest right now. That is what the Chariot is about. And if you're unsure about what direction to follow, look within is the answer. The answer is the direction you most are pulled to follow. And if you apply your will to this, if you look at this, like, instead of making a statement like, I'd like to try to figure this out because I'm excited about it. If your statement looks more like, I'm so excited about this that I'm going to figure it out no matter what, then the universe listens. And the other thing that listens, if you're not going to be woo-woo about this, which you don't have to be, is your subconscious. When you make those definitive statements of, you know what, I'm going to get this done. This is what's going to happen. Your subconscious listens and it begins doing all the work of figuring out how to make that statement true. Because if there's one thing our brains do very well, it's confirmation bias. So hack your own confirmation bias and be very firm with yourself and say, I'm going to get this done. I am going to figure this out. That is what you're being called to do right now. Go hard after what is calling you, what is pulling you, what fires your soul up. All right. After Amy, I have Grayson, then Ayla, and then Anderson, and then Roland. Grayson, I am pulling a card for you. If you dropped a cat earlier and I left you out of the mix, please feel free to let me know. Amy says, wow, exactly. Well, go after the thing. I believe in you. Grayson, your card is the Lovers. I love having the Lovers as a corollary to the Hermit, which is a card for everyone. Grayson, this is a card about tenderness. And this Lovers in particular is a little more tender and a little less sexual. Some lovers are a little on the carnal side of things, depending on the deck. This is really about honoring. It doesn't even have to be about another person, although it super can. This is about honoring every portion of yourself with love and tenderness. Often with the Lovers, it can be about someone you're deeply committed to. That person could be yourself, or it could be another person. Or it could be about something you're deeply committed to. I am a musician, and for me, the Lovers often comes up to indicate my relationship with my art. So whatever the Lovers means for you, you probably know what or who it is that you are so deeply committed to. And what that requires from you right now is tenderness and compassion. It certainly does require a dose of honesty, but honesty in the context of loving kindness. That's very important right now. And maybe the magic bullet for whatever you're going through is sometimes we can be so caught up in like, well, I have to be honest about this, and honesty is the best policy, and I have to just face the facts. That's a big word. That's a big phrase people use, face the facts, indicating that the facts are like a scary thing to face. And I encourage you instead to indeed like honor honesty as an important thing, and to wield honesty and facts in the context of tenderness and love. And if you have no idea who or what, I'm going to suggest to you that it may be yourself. It may be an opportunity to transform your relationship with yourself. And rather than looking at yourself as perhaps someone to manage or figure out or hack, even though I know I just said we should hack our subconscious, to look at yourself with more tenderness and compassion, to ask if you can be in a relationship with yourself as you would be in a relationship with someone else you are very, very tender with, and to approach yourself with the loving kindness that these embracey dragons are approaching each other. You know, when we're in relationship with someone, it's a different kind of feeling. When it's a good, healthy relationship, right? It's a different kind of feeling. There's a nurturing energy to it. When I come to someone I love deeply, whether it's romantic or not, and share something that I'm going through, the person's reaction is colored by their affection for me, right? They may, depending on who they are, go into problem solving mode or give me a hug or whatever, but their reaction is colored by the fact that they care about me and they want me to have a better time of it, you know? And so I encourage you. Wow. Okay. There's some really bad comments happening on YouTube right now, and I apologize everyone who has to watch that. I am blocking the user. Um, there is someone on YouTube commenting really, really triggering racial slurs, and that's not okay here, and bigotry is not okay, and I have blocked the person. Anyway, sorry to interrupt. That's my invitation to you. Approach your relationship with yourself with the love and tenderness that you would about someone you care very, very deeply about, and see how that can be transformative, especially with the Hermit as our main card. If we're focusing on ourselves, it may be that the magic bullet needed is that tenderness, is that compassion, and that desire for yourself to just have a better time of it. Okay, I see we have a little bit of a gross thing happening on YouTube right now where people are coming in, various people are coming in with slurs, and I am blocking them as fast as I see them. So I apologize if you're watching on YouTube. Feel free to move over to Facebook or Twitch or Instagram if you don't want to deal with that. I'm Sassafras Tarot everywhere. You can always find me. But I'm blocking them as quickly as I can. Okay. Who else do I have after you, Grayson? I have, it looks like Anderson and Rowley. Was there anyone else? Ayla. Ayla, then Anderson, then Rowley. Pulling a card for you now. Ayla. Ayla, your card is the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is a leap of faith. It is a card about taking stock of what isn't working and finding the courage to move forward, knowing that you don't know what you're moving into, but you know that what you're moving away from can no longer work. Just blocked another user on YouTube. I guess we've arrived because we have horrible spammers. Sorry about that, everyone. So what is it that you're moving away from? Or perhaps what is it that you need to acknowledge that you need to move away from, Ayla? If you're looking at your life and going, I'm adding this all up and it just isn't working about a particular situation in your life, this card is giving you a permission to honor that, even if you don't know what the next step is. Even, again, if you don't know what you're moving towards, perhaps you have to move away right now in order to get that clarity of what the next step is. You just have to take yourself out of a situation sometimes that is aggressively not working for you in order to get the clarity on what you should be moving towards. And if so, please honor that need in yourself. Please honor the need to take care of yourself. Know that any decision you make right now doesn't have to be a permanent life-altering decision, but that it is very, very worth it for you to take yourself out of whatever is causing you so much strife in your life so that you can have the clear head you need to move forward. Anderson, I'm going to pull a card for you now if you're still with us. Anderson asked me particularly about someone who is in a forum and the concern that this person is this person's a moderator on a forum and whether or not they're a fed. And that's something that like I said, I try not to get into other people's heads in the tarot. That feels a little unethical to me. And I also believe that the answers to those very type of specific questions that can be high stakes, you should absolutely seek out concrete answers rather than consulting an oracle, right? I'm aware of, that's kind of how I feel about myself in the pecking order as a tarot reader. So I'm going to give you a card to indicate what your best approach around this person should be instead. And I hope that is useful to you. Rather than giving you a card that says this person is or isn't, whatever. I don't want to be the person to condemn someone I have never met or whatever, or wrongly label them as something else. So I'm going to give you a card about how you can best handle your interactions with this person. All right. Anderson, you got the 8 of Swords, which indicates to me, I have another person on YouTube that I have to block at this time. You got the 8 of Swords, which indicates to me that actually you may need to do some looking within on this circumstance. It seems like you may be seeing things in a way that feels like you are stuck and you are powerless in the situation. And it may be that what's actually blinding you is kind of, it may be that what's blinding you is internal. I'm not even going to say the person's username right now. I see what you're putting in the comments, and I don't want to, I don't want to get involved in it. But I do want to share, for the best I can, like the tarot's wisdom for you. The 8 of Swords here is the card that's pulled. So there's an indication for some need for looking more deeply, that perhaps there's something going on that is seen as very black and white and isn't such a very black and white situation. And that the need here is to look within rather than look at whatever is happening externally that seems to be kind of both high stakes and stressful and high pressure and unpleasant. And again, with the 8 of Swords, there's even a sense of like feeling stuck or feeling imprisoned. So the suggestion is that what's imprisoning you isn't necessarily the situation, but your perspective on the situation. And I present that to you as information for you to parse through with your own wisdom, because I am not in your shoes and I'm not you. And that's something, that's something I leave to you to sort out what that means to you and how it helps your situation. Okay. Brittany pops in and says, quick cat. I'm sorry to people who have just popped in, because I am at noon and this is a hard stop point for me. I'm going to pull my last card, which is for Rolly. And then I have to end the broadcast today. So that's going forward. I'm in my busy season this time of year, and I'm going to be doing 11 to 12 and have a hard stop at 12. So if you do want a card pulled, I love pulling cards for you. I just suggest that you get to the Witchy Weather Report early. And I'll try to write down the people who mentioned today that they like a card that I didn't get to. And I will make a point of putting you like first in the queue for next week. Okay, Rolly, this is going to be the final card. This is your card. You requested a reading. Here is your card. It is the Knight of Wands. Really, I don't know what it is that you're feeling passionate and excited to pursue right now, but there is a tug right now. That is getting you excited. You're a different part of your personality is emerging. A part of you that maybe feels more impulsive, more excited, more prone to just make a snap decision and go after something, because whatever's happening in your life is bringing up a lot of passion in you. And that's beautiful. You may wish to, where you can, get some time and make sure that you're clear on your values as well as clear on your goals, so that your actions are in line with those, rather than being so impulsive that you're doing a little bit of self-sabotage, if you know what I mean. But ultimately, your passion is your partner right now. It's something to be, it's positive. It's a positive force in your life. Follow your passion, apply those basic rules of, trying to make sure your behavior is in line with what you value, and make sure that you are not acting out of your integrity. And other than that, like, go full steam ahead, because it seems like you really want to. Whatever you're very excited about pursuing, the tarot is like, yes, go for it. This is something that can aid you in your highest good at this time. So please honor your passion responsibly. All right. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in. This has concluded the Witchy Weather Report. If you did not get your card pulled, please come back next time. Like I said, let me know next time if I see 2 people who asked for a card that I didn't get to. Come back next time and let me know that I didn't get to you last week, and I'll put you right in the front of the queue. Because I love to read for you, but I have to time box to an hour now that I'm in my busy season. Also, if you have enjoyed this Witchy Weather Report and you want to dig deeper, you can always order a reading from me on my Etsy shop, which is scrolling across the bottom now. It's also in the comments. It's etsy.com/shop/Sassafras Tarot. And if you want 10% off of any reading, you can use the code Witchy Weather Report, all one word, on Etsy. Finally, I have a new podcast out, and I would love it if you would go give it a listen. It's Sassafras Cast, Sassafras CAST. If you search for Sassafras Cast, all one word, on your favorite podcast listening app, you will find it. I would love it if you take a listen. Throw me a subscribe if you enjoy what you're hearing. Thank you so much, everybody. Farewell, farewell. Have a wonderful